because Vivian stayed in the number on stage right to the very end. She didn't cut out like that. Hello. I don't like microphones.
Neither do I.
I sang at Drury Lane without a microphone.
Okay, we're working the room now.
But the tape can't hear you, so we really need it.
Oh, see, we're doing this for the video. You don't have to touch it. I'll hold it for you. Oh, you like it.
I don't know. How does anybody work with you when you go back?
You know what? Tell me how you got to be the understudy to Vivian Blaine.
Oh, well, I was appearing in London in Carousel at Drury Lane, and Fiona and Martin, who were going to produce Guys and Dolls, came backstage and said, when you come to New York, please come in and audition for us. Please.
I'm going to hold it. Let me hold
Please
it.
come in and audition for us, because we're looking for a soprano to play a mission doll. So when I came home from London, I called, and they said, oh, we've already cast the mission doll, Isabel Bigley, who was brilliant when she played the part. So I went to see the show when it opened, and I fell in love with Vivian. I said, that is the most adorable part I've ever seen. So I made it a point to learn it. I studied it. I went to the theater night after night, and Ira Bernstein, the manager, would let me sit on the stairs and watch Vivian. And then I called them one day and I said, I hear you're looking for replacements. May I come in and audition? Oh, we don't need another Sarah Brown yet. I said, but I want to audition for Miss Adelaide. They said, but you're a soprano. I said, I know, but I've lowered my voice. I've learned the lament, and I'd like to sing it for you. So there was a silence. He said, all right, come in. So I called Ira Bernstein, which was sort of sneaky of me. I said, may I have a half hour with the pianist in the pit before my audition? Because I want to sing Adelaide's Lament the way Vivian does it. And Ira said, oh, that's asking a lot. And I said, please, please. So he said, all right. So he arranged for me to come to the theater early and work in the pit with the pianist. And he said, what key? I said, well, I've learned it from the recording. And he said, well, that's a tone lower than Vivian does it in the theater. But then the theater always gives you a little extra lift. But we recorded it in that lower key. So I said, well, I have to do it in that key. If I do it in a higher key, I'll become a soprano. Right. So George Kaufman, Abe Burrows, Frank Lesser, Cy Fuhrer, Ernie Martin, they all came into the theater, and I went on the stage and I did the lament. Then this little voice in the audience said, Ira, do it in Vivian's key. I can't. Why? I be a soprano. Try it. So I started the first 4 bars. Said, okay, keep it in your key. So I wanted to thank the accompanist. So I said to Ira Bernstein, who is that man who played the piano so brilliantly? And he said, he's Louis Armstrong's pianist. I said, what's he doing in the pit? He said, well, they're on an off season, and he likes to work. So he's working. That was my good fortune. They hired me. And then Vivian was doing Guys and Dolls and a show on TV with Pinky Lee, and she was using too much energy, and she would start to faint in the middle of the performance. So they hired me and put me on salary right away for 6 months until Vivian left to go to London. And then I went into the show and I played it for 2 years. And then when Vivian was leaving London, they asked me to follow her there, but I didn't want to go back to London again. They don't pay you as well.
Weren't there some other shows that kind of came back to back?
Well, after Guys and Dolls, I sent all my pictures to the Rodgers and Hammerstein office, and I said, I'm looking for work. And they said, well, the only thing we have is, we're looking for a Nellie for South Pacific for the road. I said, okay. And so, but Mr. Rogers and Mr. Hammerstein are in Nogales doing the movie of Oklahoma with Mitzi Gaynor. So let us call them. So Miss Wolferson, or I think it was her name, she called Nogales, Arizona, and spoke to Mr. Rogers, and she said, Iva's in the office, she's been to Florida, she's all suntan, she looks like an outdoors girl, not a little fragile doll like we thought, and she wants a job. And the only thing we have is Nellie in South Pacific in Washington, D.C. Oh, give her the job. So I went to Washington, I saw the show, and I came back and I said to my husband, I'm so sorry I said I'd do it, because the show is really, really tired. So very tired. And so I told the office, I said, it's quite a disappointment. Have you seen South Pacific recently? And they said, no. I said, well, do I really have to do it? They said, yes. So they brought Josh Logan to teach me how to be Nellie Ford. Now, if you live your entire life, you'll never, ever find a director like Josh Logan. He put me through the paces in New York, in the Booth Theater, by myself, and then traveled with me to Washington to put me in the show. He gave the show a lecture and said, don't ever do anything you've been doing. You're going to go back and do the original staging, the original timing, the original song keys, and we're putting Iva Withers into the show. We're going to run for just 2 or 3 more weeks, but she wants the experience. We ran for 2 years. Oh. I had wonderful reviews, and the other day, Wednesday, I went to the matinee of South Pacific at Theater, the Vivian Blaine Theater, and he had introduced me from the stage and called me.
Isn't she amazing how she lights up?
Yes.
I mean, it just happens right on her face.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let me help you back.
Well, I did Guys and Dolls, and Michael came to see me, and he said, you're great.
That's all right.
Do we have
And I'm
a
only
next
blind
clip?
in one eye, so far.
Are we going to do a next clip?
And I'm 91
What?
years old.
All the time.